So we have said that, and I've said that the theme of your chapter is a very interesting and challenging theme. Now, I don't know how it sounds to you because, of course, you know your congregation, you know what it means more than to me, because I come from a different type of congregation, which has been said at the beginning is a missionary congregation. So for us, we go out of our own country and possibly even on continent in some ways. So perhaps from some point of view, some of the things are understood in a different way. But I wanted to start to say something about mission beyond the geographical frontier. What does it mean? Particularly for us as a missionary congregation, but for the mission in general in the church, very often mission has been understood in terms of a country far, which has not yet received the message of Jesus Christ, is far from mine, and it is a physical place, where we need to move out somewhere there. Now, in 1990, there was practically the second missionary encyclical, which was called the Redemptoris Mission. In the paper you will find the abbreviation with RM. And very interesting, it creates a lot of debate because practically it was one of the first time where it was pointed out that geography wasn't really so much the point of reference for mission. And he said that spoke about the vast horizons of mission. And now, why did he say vast? Big, large. Why did he say that in this document? Because it's not that new country or new territory were discovered in 1990. Or it is not that a diocese, let us talk about established and structured church, was already established. It was not being established somewhere. No. Dioceses are everywhere now in the world, in every country, even in the smallest island on the Pacific, they refer to a diocese. So why then this document spoke about this horizon, this new horizon? Because it started exactly saying something about frontier of mission. This frontier have a different criteria from the geographical. It was more of social spaces. Social spaces. It started entering and spreading this vision of mission in this perspective of social context as new frontiers. The Redemptoris Mission spoke about society being in a flux, and he spoke about specifically urbanization and the massive growth of cities, something I'm sure we are quite familiar with. These big cities around the world that are becoming more and more megalopolis, and where human problems are aggravated, and there is a lot of anonymity, and where particular new cultures and subcultures are emerging. I don't know whether we have experience of that. I'm sure some of us have, of this coming together of people and from different parts of the same country or different countries, and then the mixture, intertwining of it creates problems, but a richness, of course, at the same time emerging a new type of culture or subculture. We are not entering, I'm just listing what the document 20 years ago was saying, which is very much present even today, even evolving. Then it was about the youth as a social space for mission. We are talking about the mission as it is understood in the Redemptoris Mission at that time. The young people, which cannot, the document said, be evangelized with an ordinary means of pastoral work. So it was a challenging saying, what are we going to do, we as a church, we as a missionary, about this large part of the society, which are the youth. Maybe you don't see that much in Europe, but I'm sure in many other continents, youth are everywhere. It's a growing, really reality and number. Then he listed the situation of poverty, and often said at intolerable scale. And it has not gone away, this. And we will go to see something about that. And then he says something about the new culture created by modern communication 20 years ago. This new culture coming up because of now the possibility given to communicate, to communication with electronic means, which is really connect everywhere. And then, very interesting again, he says something about the new Areopagus in the modern world. And he speaks about commitment for peace, commitment to peace. And he speaks about liberation of peoples. He speaks about the rights of individuals and peoples, the advancement of women, and safeguarding of the created world. It's very interesting again, no? Something of the very actual theme in some of the discussion in mission. Geography wasn't so much meaningful to define a frontier for the mission. But now, 20 years after, we look at a phenomenon that has increased over the years in a very visible way, which is the phenomenon that we all are more or less acquainted with, which is the globalization. Which globalization has become the new world order. The new world order. So we cannot look at frontier or consider frontier these days without having a look at and entering a bit more in what is the meaning of globalization. Okay, globalization can be read and understood in many different ways, from the geopolitical to the economic point of view, theological point of view. So it has many ways of being looking at. But very interesting, the Jesuit, this congregation, in their chapter in 2008, said very clearly that globalization is the contest which generates the frontiers where they want to be present. Okay, it is a bit ambivalent phenomenon, this globalization, in a sense that the economic foundation is in a unimodal liberal market system. So when we speak about unimodal, we speak about it is propagating one model of economy. And this economy, this model is the liberal model, where market is dictating rules. No politics, no values much, really. No culture's value, no religious values. The market is dictating the rules for our living. I think that we can look at some global trend and then think, are they frontier for us? Are they frontier where we can be present in some way? And frontier is always delimiting some border. When we speak about frontier, actually, I don't know your mind, but the mind goes at times to borders. Some delimitation of borders, where there is a division. There is a kind of division. So if I want to be present on frontier, it means that there is some sort of conflict, some sort of division in this frontier, where I want to be present. But then already we have to imagine how I want then to be present on a division kind of point, on a division space, on a space that is divided, in a space that is somehow in conflict, if not a violent or an armed conflict, a different type of conflict. Let us leave that in our background. So another trend, which you know, is the climate change, which I'm sure lots, even your document speaks about that. No? And again, climate change is spoken in terms of security, because global climate change at global level is creating a lot of effects which takes people to an increased human migration because of desperation. And if we know that the global change is affecting particularly the regions of the world which are more vulnerable, that they may not have states which have all the means to protect their citizens. So, and not only that, but most countries where the drying of the lands is happening are already, as I said, very, very vulnerable. The fact that there is dry land is creating a lot of tension. Again, a lot of tension, a lot of war, a lot of conflict. There is a lot of conflict because of this, and social disruption. So, where are we? Because I can speak about climate change, many conferences speak about it, but then on the concrete world reality. So this is a frontier, because the effect of global warming is, the effects of it are definitely frontier for the mission today. Thank you very much.